Hello, we'll be talking further on those stories that changes life. And I'm working on some number of stories that really affected my life when I was young, which I also believe will be very useful to many children and even adults because we have packaged it in a way that the stories are interesting, contemporary, and containing vital lessons for young and old, for young and old. So make it more like for a fun-filled thought and discussion. Today, I want to talk about a family. Some of you begin to wonder which of the family in the Bible is he talking about? Is it Abraham? Is it Isaac family? Is it Jacob family? Is it Joseph's family? Just follow me and you will get a little clue gradually as you know the family I'm talking about. I'm talking about a father and two sons. Some of you who are very good with the scripture by now will begin to decipher and say, he's talking about this or that. But yet I won't tell you the name of this family. Now, this man had two sons based on wider look at the personality of this father. He's a father that everyone would want to have as a father. He's a responsible father. He's a giver. He's a hardworking father. He takes care of people around him. The children who approach him, he's not the kind of father that when he's coming, everybody will begin to run under the bed, under into the roof, and so on and so forth. He's just a loving father. Even the servants loved him. When they compared him with other fathers, other masters in the neighborhood, the servant meets and they thank God for giving them the father as their own master because he takes good care of them, he feeds them, and they are well nourished. He wasn't treating them as mere servants. He believes that the wages of the servant should be duly appropriated or given to them. How about the sons? They are so much taken care of that even they had inheritance saved in the hands of their dad. The only thing is we were not told anything about their mom. So these two children were well taken care of, and the father trusted that they will end up well in life. They were placed under the right tutelage because in the olden days when children are growing up, especially if they are from a wealthy family, they always have tutors that takes care of them so that they can be well-rounded in knowledge, furnished with wisdom to manage the estate of their father. Though the father just believe everything is settled, which is how many of us think. But there are certain forces that play around us. This lesson will help the fathers in our world to accept some outcome from their children. It is not always that parents fail in their duties. Sometimes environment or certain forces play a fast game on our children. One day, the younger son came to the father, and the father said, "Son, I've never seen you in such countenance. Is there any problem?" The son said, "Father, yeah, there is big problem." "What is the problem?" "Father, I have more than enough inheritance with you. I cannot continue to serve you. I can go and settle down somewhere else. I can manage my destiny." Is this not how many of us act before God and before those who knows more than us? We know some people, before they learn the trade, they pull out to start. What they are just doing, they have laid their hands on is just being prodigious. to waste the resources that is in their hands. You know what? If you are not well equipped intellectually in your mind, you cannot manage resources. You will end up as a prodigal son. Now you know who I'm talking about. That young guy is a prodigal son. So the prodigal son forcefully asked for his inheritance. And the father, because he believed in the law of equity and justice, he has promised that they had inheritance as virtue by virtue of him being the father to him. He asked him to come back. By the time he came back, the father collated, brought together all that belongs to him. When this young guy saw it, he was so much thrilled that he was jumping up. This is for me. And he had a picture of how he wanted to live his life, the kind of majesty that will follow him, how he wants to show off to his mates and to the younger generation. The father gave it to him. The next morning, he saddled his beast and he journeyed to a strange land where the father could not monitor, where the influence of the father couldn't get to. He got there, rented a large apartment, began to live in frivolities, live a life of vanity, live in drunkenness, live to feast on all kind of uh, unrestrained appetite. He had no restraint on his appetite. Whatever seems good to him, he eats. And he wastes money on friends, wrong kind of friends. Doesn't stop there. He also began to go after the harlot. You can see how demeaning his life is. When a man fails to stay around wisdom, he will do things that are demeaning, things that are not right. And he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was enjoying life. This is why many things we thought to be good life has no semblance with good life. Anything that will not promote your future, anything that will not grant you eternal salvation, eternal future, anything that will not guarantee a healthy living. There's some youth who are into drug. They carry drug, they put it in their nose, they put it, and along the line, some of them became wretched and mentally deranged. Such is not good life. It is a demonically manipulated kind of life. But for this prodigal son, he never ran mad. He was fortunate, which is still speaking to you. If you are listening to me, you are still fortunate. All your wasteful life and wasteful spending hasn't caught up with you. All the wrong you have done, the mistake you have done, have not yet destroyed you. So you have the opportunity to turn back to God. You have the opportunity to turn back doing the right thing. In the throes of pain and suffering, without food, without nourishment, in hunger, in thirst, his senses came back. And he said, how many of my father's servants? My father is a good father. Now he knew his father was good. If his father was not good, he wouldn't have gotten any inheritance. We have many children that has nothing to give from their parents. See, many servants in my father's house have more than enough to eat. While I'm suffering, let me go back and become one of the servants. He ran out of state of servitude, slavery, and pain. And as he was running on, though he was tired, he knew that all he needs to do is get into the Father. In the same vein, you and myself, we may get into states of deprivation and pain so much that we think there's no chance for us. All we need is to muster the faith and the strength to look back to God. The Bible says, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Zephaniah. So you too, you can arise and go to your father. Immediately, the father sets his eyes on him. The father too ran to meet him and embrace him, and it turns to become a new beginning for the prodigal son. The father asked that the tattered clothes be removed. He was washed. He was decorated back as a son in the house, not as a servant. Feasts were declared for him for his return. So instead of hunger, deprivation, his life turned around for good. You too, if you turn back to God, in those areas you are messing up, all the pains of the past will be pushed aside, and you have the opportunity for enjoyment here on earth and to feast with Christ at the supper, uh, uh, marriage supper with the Lamb, and you just find out that this is a new beginning. I can tell you, sincerely speaking, even here on earth, when you follow God, there's a peace that passes all understanding. You can begin to create your heaven even here on earth. Jesus Christ said, when you turn to Him, you will receive abundant life. Stop struggling. Cast everything before Him and say, Father, take me, hold me, help me. The prodigal son turned around. He was never devoured by his mistake. Never stay too long in your mistake. Never allow the pain to snuff the good life out of you. God bless you. I hope you have learned from the story. Even if you're a child, if you're an adult, there is a lesson here for you and me. Praise the Lord. I am Wale Adewumi. Always visit our website at www.worldchangersnetwork.org. God bless you.